What is up, party people? Happy Wednesday. One Hit Wonder Wednesday. What? So pumped. It's country today. We all got our country hits. We're ready to roll. A little bit tougher than I thought it was going to be country-wise.
It is. It is.
So
I was a long-time country DJ, and I thought, oh, man, this is going to be easy. I'll just go back to some of the folks I played. But it turns out they were bigger hit makers than I thought at the time.
I was going through, and I'm like, well, I'd like to do this one. I look, and I'm like, she had 5 hits. What is that? This is a no. Oh, this band here. Yeah, they only had 1 hit. Nope.
Yep.
And even when you go to like the ChatGPT or Gronk or any of these other things, what are the 1 hit wonder country? They'll say this was their major hit, but they did have another 9 other hits. That's not what I want to know.
Right.
I just want one band. I don't care how crappy they are. They had 1 hit, got on the charts, and now they're all working at bowling alleys. I don't care. I mean, if we're going to bowling alley, that's totally fine because bowling's like fun. Just to let you guys know that. But it was a little bit tougher than I thought. It was. Finally found the one because I decided to do a jump swerve and say, okay, 1 hit wonder that was a hit on country and the Billboard charts.
Oh, a little crossover there.
Crossy.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, I saw that Elon Musk got a $100 billion pay package. That's nice.
Wow.
I got to get me one of those.
Yeah. Which trees do those grow on?
Was it cash or stock?
I think this was him cashing out some of his stock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, because he's got all that stock, and if you're not doing anything with it, you might as well, what are you going to do? Because remember, he has to always go to Delaware, and he always fight, because he'll give himself a $100 million payout, and they're like, no, you don't get that. And then you can't have that, and you don't get that. And then they fight over it, and then they end up giving him $50 billion. What do you do with that? What do you do? I mean, it's like, I know he's going to take it and throw into all of his other stuff because he's kind of an odd bird. I don't even think he sleeps on somebody's couch. My buddy worked at early in Tesla, and he'd say you'd come in at like 2:30 in the morning, and he'd be underneath your desk passed out because he'd just be there for like 3 days in a row, just always wandering around. I'm like, well, that's speed. That's what it'll do for you. I'm kidding, of course. That's a joke. He would never do that. Oh, goodness me. Are we still in shutdown?
Yep.
Oh, so excited.
You'll notice when it's over because life will suddenly become much more tense.
More people will be yelling at each other. Oh, God. I was like, we're in shutdown, but we were open long enough yesterday to give Malay $20 billion for Argentina. So that's good. That's America first. By the way, that $20 billion does nothing. It stabilizes their currency, and it gets him to the election where he hopes to hold on to power. Outside of that, it does nothing for them. That is like taking a Dixie cup and trying to empty a pool with 2 scoops. It just doesn't do anything. But, he gave Trump a letter, and they had a rock star thing. Did you see him singing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
He is a rock star.
Yeah,
down there,
Harvey. So Malay, I think it was last weekend, he did a like a rock concert, like he comes out and he's like really rocking.
Because he's in the middle of re-election.
Yeah.
So he's doing these events.
Yeah, he's doing these events. They're trying. Look, the fact that he's still there, I continue to say is a surprise. If you know anything, right around 1917, started to go a little south, right? Like things were good. They should be the biggest. South America should be the biggest in South America. Argentina should be the biggest, most powerful of all the South American nations when it comes to their economy. They should be a top 10 economy, and they're crap. And now we're their payday loan. That's what I said we were today. We're their payday loan.
Well, he has done a lot to reverse their issues, though. I mean, he got inflation.
He's done some. The problem is, to do that, he had to cut so much stuff. And this, everybody may want inflation, a lot of this stuff to come down, but when you take away their stuff, then they get mad.
Oh, of course. It's like you take away the other guy's free stuff, not mine.
Yeah.
But I know we're $37 trillion in debt, but tax that guy, not me.
I don't want it to affect me.
Yeah. That's every. Well, that's Paul. Like
that's pretty much human nature.
We're talking about this right now when it comes to our shutdown. So you got 22 million Americans to 25 million Americans who are going to see their health premiums go up 75 to 110%. You're going to see a lot of other people, their premiums that aren't on Obamacare go up 18 to 20%. And we're going to get rid of the subsidies. And a lot of people text in and go, that's fine. That's up to them. They should learn their lesson. Of course, but it's not you. If it was you, I bet you'd sing some different tune. Right? And for him, Malay, that nation's been run so poorly. Coup after coup, horrible management, more coup, so much theft and corruption. And then the biggest thing that killed them, brain drain. I mean, once the Europeans came there after the war, I'm not going to tell you what group of people came there.
The Nazis.
But they was maybe very good at bookkeeping and whatnot. So once they came there after the war, though, it flourished, and then it went sideways. And then the brain drain came, because once everything got sideways, everybody that had a chance left Argentina. And so what should be the best in climate, an amazing culture, incredible resources, became... And you're not fixing that overnight, and not with a $20 billion. He might as well gave him $20 billion and said, just go to Vegas and just put it on black. See what happens. Our farmers don't need that. Oh, Chad. So, yeah, I was sitting there going, and watching people try to justify that, well, we need allies over there. Dude's our ally. He's not going anywhere. Okay? And not only are we helping them out, we're also helping some of the other people out who went down there and got really excited with Malay, and they threw a bunch of money at it, and then the currency went sideways, and they're going to lose their ass. We don't want that, kids. That's what I'm telling you. We don't want that. Ken.
Yes, sir.
I heard that there could be some nasty weather this weekend.
I'm not seeing that.
See, that's because the text message was flying around yesterday
Yes.
that, hey, there could be some serious stuff. Is everybody on board this weekend? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
The weather wizard has said nothing of the sort.
The National Weather Service Nashville says there's a chance of some thunderstorms, but they're not saying anything about the risk of severe weather.
Okay, good. Because I want no part of that. No part of that. It's a very quiet. We got to move all of our crap this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Because we've
What are
got.
you talking about?
Well, they're having to come in and pull up all of the floorboards.
Oh, because of the mold?
Because of the mold. And they're going to have. So my wife and the kids, they're going to a place about an hour from here with like a waterfall and a tree house. It's like an Airbnb. They're going to stay there for the week. And I'm going to stay at the studio/apartment for the week with the dogs and the cat.
Naturally.
You got to take the little fellas.
The little fellas. Yeah. The little fellas. Just got to take them. Did you see that wiener dog that was on an island by itself for like 30 days?
No.
Yeah. Little guy. Fine.
How'd that
He's
happen?
Totally fine. I think he was on a boat and might have sunk, and everybody probably thought he was dead and just kind of wandered onto this island and just chilling. It's like, how you guys doing? I own this island now. I just want to let you guys know there.
It's mine.
Wiener King.
The wiener king.
And then it raised its leg.
That's if they can, because after a while they can't, because their little backs are so sideways. Oh,
Man, one of our little weenie dogs, little Bentley Boo. That little dog got so fat one time, it just looked like he had feet instead of legs.
Oh, really?
And we figured out what was happening.
He was going in at night and sneaking food.
Well, this Bentley was the smartest dog I've ever known. And I could actually look at him and tell he was thinking and figuring things out. So we had Bentley Boo, and Lady Clotilde. What Bentley would do is we'd feed them at the same time. Their bowls were right by each other. Bentley knew that Chloe loved to play ball.
Okay.
Whenever I'd feed them, then I'd walk away. Well, Chloe stayed skinny. Bentley got fatter and fatter. What Bentley would do, he would wait until I was out of the room, then he would go get Chloe's ball, and he would pretend to play with it. I watched him do this. He would roll it away, Chloe would chase it, and he would scarf her food.
Oh.
That dog was scary sometimes.
You know what?
He was so freaking smart.
But their whole life revolves around, how am I going to get more food?
Yes.
That was
Especially a wiener dog.
Their whole life is, how am I going to get more food? Like, our dogs love to go outside, not because they want to go outside, but because they know if they go outside, then they're going to get a treat.
Yes.
So it has nothing to do with them. Like, I have to go to the bathroom. It has to do, I will force myself to go to the bathroom so I can get snacks.
Yes.
And now.
I will pee on your foot if it gets me a treat.
Yeah, there's no treat in peeing on the foot. They should know that. Now the thing is, the cat and my dog Bowie are working together. They're in cahoots because the cat is super smart, and he knows how to open the cupboards, and then Bowie goes in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, the cats are so damn smart. They are. It's a weird world. They're all working together, cats and dogs. I saw this on, Ghostbusters. Cats and dogs living together. A lot of people chiming in about One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Don't worry, next week we're going to have some Halloween themes coming up in the next week or so.
Yeah, man.
How many good just Halloween songs are there?
Not that many.
Yes, I'm trying to think.
I mean, you've got some that are absolutely solid and about the holiday.
And you have stuff that's around scary stuff.
Yeah, but it gets thin real quick.
Yeah. And some like Blue Moon, like some of that stuff that was an American Werewolf in London, it's become, that's scary. But Werewolf in London. But outside of that, you're right. There's not, Bobby Boris Pickett and a few other things. There's nothing. It's weird because when we do like Christmas, the minute Halloween's done, everybody's waiting. Everybody in every city in America is waiting for who's the first station that goes all Christmas. Which you guys are going to be surprised. It's us.
That's not funny.
That is not funny.
We're going to be playing the hits because there's always the Christmas book, right? It's always that one station that does okay, but then they go, and next thing you know, they're all Christmas.
Dude, there's a station here in town, man. Once they go Christmas,
that's it.
Hang it up.
Everybody goes, well, I could go over there, right? But it's weird because it's for several weeks. You don't do that with Halloween. You don't do it with anything other than that. It's just Christmas, which we all love. Gotta love Christmas. Absolutely. A lot of good stuff to get to today. More on Israel, what's going on in there. Nuance, lost. White Woman Wednesday. By the way, she is so crazy awesome today. I played some stuff for my wife. My wife's like, how did she get there? Who? Our girlfriend, Kylie.
Oh yeah, she went to Brown.
She did. She did. If you guys didn't know this, she went to Brown. Just in case she hates white, but she went to Brown. That's all that you guys need to know.
And that's why she went to Brown.
That is exactly why, because she didn't want to go to white.
Well, she had a scholarship to white, but decided to go to Brown instead.
And she was mad at her parents because she was white.
She's so mad at mom.
It's their fault.
Oh yeah. And by the way, today we've got "You Shouldn't Fall in Love with a Nazi," which is solid. I don't know where you get that from.
Did you break your heart?
Amongst other things. But just some of the stuff that she says today, like, made me double check on crazy. Maybe we'll do some of that. And, of course, One Hit Wonder Wednesday coming up. And it is the country music edition of that as well. If you're missing the show, shame on you, grab the podcast. Happy Wednesday. It's the Chad Bench Show. Super Talk 99.7. All right, guys and gals, you ready for it? Prize Picks. Let me tell you about Prize Picks. This is a great way for you to win up 2,000 times your money. It is about picking players and their projected stats. So, yeah, think about that. You watch sports, you're picking players, you're setting a lineup, 2 more players, up to 6, and you're picking more or less on their stats. And right now, they're already giving you a free one. Are you ready for this? This guy named Steph Curry. Anybody heard of him? October 21st, he's got a game. Do you think he's going to score more than a half a point? Think about that for a second. I think yes. Then all you have to do is pick another thing. And it could be any kind of player. You could go from baseball to basketball, football to the football to, of course, the football, and to hockey. Anything, more or less. That's all you're doing. And here's the other great thing. You download the app today, use my code Chad, you get $50 instantly in lineups, straight into your account, win or lose. But you got to use my code Chad. So what are you waiting for? Right now, Go download the Prize Picks app. Use my code Chad. Get $50 instantly in lineups when you download the app after you use code Chad. After you play your first $5 lineup. It's that simple. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-889-9789.
All right, drivers in Glencliff got a stalled vehicle. It is blocking the second left lane. This is 40 westbound right there at Spence Lane. Got some No Kings protests hitting Middle Tennessee this weekend. No end in sight to the government shutdown now in day 15. We'll tell you what President Trump's doing to put some pressure on Democrats. Coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So the No Kings is back. How about that?
Yeah, it's a No Kings 2.0.
Was there? Oh, there was a 1.0.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it apparently didn't work.
No. Well, you know what's great, though? They must have worked because we don't have a king. How weird is that? Well, you guys keep up the good work. No Kings. Somebody just asked, Chad, what's my solution with Miley to turn around? This is going to take forever, and Miley can't. The solution is it is a generational change, and Miley can institute a lot of different things. The way that he's made change has been abrupt, and one thing people have to recognize, even this administration, as much as you're trying to enact change, you also have a finite time to do it because there's voting. And so part of the problem is the Argentinian population itself. They're so fickle. They change every, we're mad. You could win on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday morning, after everybody's done celebrating you, they're already marching in the street. They're like, we should probably get rid of this guy. It's like, he hasn't even moved into his place yet. And that's a hard thing to fix because they've had years of corruption. They've had years of absolute brain drain. That has been huge. So it's going to take a while, but
And they've gone through every time there was an issue, the socialist had a fix, which was more socialism, which made the issue worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what he's fighting against, is trying to change that and let the market take over.
Yeah, exactly. But he's also, you have to realize, while cutting some stuff is good and bringing down some of this stuff, you have to do it in a way where ripping off the Band-Aid is one thing, but you ripped off the Band-Aid, you tore out the stitches, you did everything in such an abrupt way that there was always going to be some backlash. But people still, you have to acclimatize to what's going on. And that was a tough thing. So it's going to take a while. Speaking of interesting, we all love our Hallmark, which, by the way, kicks off all the stuff this week, our Hallmark Christmas.
I started seeing promos for Hallmark like 2 days ago, and one of them was for a murder mystery.
Yes. They got they have Hallmark murder mystery. They have their own Hallmark like mystery channel with murder mysteries. It's like, hey, somebody's dead, and let's.
But this was like a Christmas theme.
Yeah, they have a Halloween one, by the way, which is the same people that do this big decoration clash every year. They have a Hallmark one. This year, they're battling it out for Halloween.
Man,
but
women have strange tastes.
They put out a PSA, which I apparently didn't know this was a big deal for the Hallmark crowd.
Hi, friends.
We care deeply about our fans, and we have something very important to tell you.
There's a growing industry-wide problem across social media.
Fake accounts are impersonating actors,
reaching out to fans directly with misleading messages.
It's very important that you know.
It's important that you know we will never contact you personally
to ask for financial help,
donations, or to meet up.
If you receive a message like this, it's a scam.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. Please block the account and report it to the social media platform immediately.
Stay safe.
Stay connected.
And thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of our Hallmark family.
I did not know that there was that many people that were using Lacey Chabert and everybody to steal money.
Well, if we're family, why are they telling us not to meet with them?
You know what? That's the other side of it. I thought you guys could have been a little bit nicer. There's like at no point in time would I ever hang out with you freaking wackadoos. Okay, just want to let you guys know that I'm a Hallmark star. At no point in time would I ever think about signing an autograph or let alone asking you for money, you sick weirdos. Now watch my show. I thought that was a bit abrupt.
Man, people fall for this stuff, though, man. What was that? There was a guy in the UK who was convinced that Jennifer Aniston needed money, and it was her reaching out to him. You know, she was falling in love with him, and he just kept sending money to his account.
At no time, this is what's amazing. If somebody does that to you, if today you're sitting at home, right, and no offense, ladies, or gentlemen, maybe it's Jennifer Aniston, you're going 2.5 bills, right? You haven't seen your feet in a while. You sweat when it's cold. You know, basically, you're not a looker. And all of a sudden, you get an email from Jennifer Aniston or The Rock. And you can't take 2 minutes to go, maybe I should check and see if The Rock's broke.
You don't have to throw the idea out. Just check on it a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I mean, I heard the other day that Spielberg's going through a rough patch.
Oh, yeah, totally. He is. He's going through
him and David Geffen.
Yeah, he texted me about that last night.
Did he?
And I gave him I gave him my Social Security number.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to give him my bank account number.
That's okay, though, because I did give him my mom's maiden name.
And my driver's license number.
And the name of my cat. They always want that, too. What's the name of your first pet? Let me tell you. Don't. Okay, I'm just saying this is a PSA from us. And here's another PSA from us. If you happen to fall for this, you're a dumbass. You're welcome.
And that's not meant to be mean, just truthful.
That's just honesty right there, right in your face. All right, coming up, it's a country version of One Hit Wonder Wednesday. And I bet you, well, I know one of these songs, the song I chose, was actually just recorded right here on 16th.
Just probably right down the road.
Right? I'm literally
Probably all of them.
on 16th at Broadway, right there. So be prepared, kids. One Hit Wonder Wednesday, country edition, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. And drivers, right now, we're running into a big problem over here on 40 westbound at Spence Lane. You've got a stalled vehicle, and it is blocking the second left lane. No Kings protests planned for Nashville and Middle Tennessee this weekend. The biggest rally is going to start Saturday at 10 at the state capitol. Organizers say it's a peaceful pushback against President Trump's policies. No end in sight to the government shutdown, now in day 15. Not enough Democrats in the U.S. Senate willing to cross over to approve that House-passed stopgap measure to fund the federal government so they can negotiate other things. House Speaker Mike Johnson asked if there will be a point when he thinks Republicans are going to have to put another clean continuing resolution on the floor.
With regard to the timeline of the CR, it would do us no good to pass yet another CR out of the House because it will meet the same fate. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats want to close the government down. They are gleeful about this.
Yeah, President Trump amping up the pressure on Democrats, says he's going to release a list Friday of what he calls Democrat programs that he will shut down permanently if they don't agree to this short-term funding bill in front of them right now in the Senate. At $50,000, not only is the average price of a new car at an all-time high, says the Kelley Blue Book car buying guide, but costs of car loans are zooming too, says Chuck Severson.
According to credit agency Experian, last year the average length of a new car loan was 68 months, nearly 6 years. As credit scores worsen, average terms lengthen. The longer the loan, the higher the overall payback price is because you're paying on the original value, which plummets. Carfax says the value of a new vehicle drops by about 20% in the first year, 15% a year each of the 4 years after. Experian says the average monthly car payment is $749.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
This afternoon, upper 70s to the low 80s. Tonight will fall to the 50s and 40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny again and mild again. Upper 70s to the low 80s. More cloud cover mixes in on Friday. We're in the mid-80s. Saturday will also be in the mid-80s with increasing clouds throughout the day. Rain moves in late Saturday evening, Saturday night, into Sunday, with a few thunderstorms before a big cool day.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You want to lose those inches, right? Those pesky. You know, you got that extra little tire, no matter how much you work out, it doesn't go away. Contours is going to help you with that right there in Cool Springs. This is what I want you to do. Write this number down, 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960. It is non-invasive. They've got a belly buster plan going on right now. When you go in there, you're guaranteed to lose 2 inches off your chest and your belly, or you don't pay anything. It is simple and easy. Well, what do I have to do? Lay there, relax. That's it. And it starts to go away. My shirts fit better. My pants fit better. Dan and I have both done this, and it's incredible. Now, here's the other thing. When you buy the Belly Buster package, you're going to get a $1,500 FDA-approved facial. So this is not one of those cheesy spa facials. This is like getting almost a whole new, it's got infrared, like a new face. So get like a face-off, but it's going to be a new, younger face. You can give that away. Keep it for yourself. So what are you waiting for? Let's get rid of those inches, those pesky inches. Stop doing sit-ups. It ain't going to work, especially as you get a little bit older. Get over to Contours, 615-236-9960, or check them out online at ContoursLLC.com to schedule. What do you got to lose but inches and wrinkles? Broadcasting live from the 24/7 Pretend News Center. It's that time of the program every Wednesday. We sit back, we relax, and while everybody else is doing serious stuff, we said, you know what would be great? Let's talk about one-hit wonders. Let's talk about people that were awesome, but now if we called them, they'd probably pick up the phone.
Or probably not, because they're in their shift at Chili's.
There's also that. There's also one of those things. I'd love to, but I can't right now. I'm on the road. What do you do? I work for U-Haul. All right. So that's got to be the toughest thing in the world, right? Like going from playing stadiums and being a rock star to, because I've watched some of those guys that were like in bands and then that had a couple hits and they were out and now they're painters. Not like I painting because this is my art. No, they're painters like, yeah, I can do the wall green.
I'm painting because you gave me money to side your house.
That's right. That's got to be so weird. But One Hit Wonders, awesome. These are songs that were massive in some cases, and they stuck around forever. And in other cases, they were here and gone really quick. They make us laugh. They make us smile. It's part of what we do and who we are here on the Chad Benson Show. Let's do it.
Now it's time for another edition of One Hit Wonder Wednesday. You may not remember the name of the band, but you definitely know the song. This is One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
All right, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Today we're doing country. Somebody's like, why don't you guys do country? And then several of you said, yeah, let's do that. So we said, all right, we're doing country.
Then we realized it was very difficult.
Yeah, we had no idea this was going to be super hard.
It's pretty easy for me. I don't know what's wrong
You know
with
what?
you guys.
I was going to use yours, but the funny thing, the reason I didn't, because she did have another hit.
She didn't have another hit.
She did.
She had nothing else that broke the top 40 on country.
He and I are going to argue, but this is the guy who also goes, so this band's called Human League. They had one hit, except for the 19 other ones they had. So, all right. You know what, Pat?
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Listen here, Belle. Right? Huh? Belle. Why don't you start us off today with your one-hit wonder, which is a song that I absolutely love.
Yeah, I actually love this one, too. It's from 2001. It was on DreamWorks Nashville, and it is from Jessica Andrews, Who I Am.
Spitting image of my phone.
Number one on the country charts for 4 weeks.
I hear some fiddle in there.
Yep.
God, that was such a great song. That was
17 years old.
That was huge.
Yeah.
That was such a and I think a lot of people thought she's going to go on and do a whole bunch of stuff. She didn't.
She's going to be the first Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she didn't do a ton of stuff, but she's awesome. And I saw her. I think she lives here. I think she lives in Franklin, actually.
Probably.
And I saw her the other day on because she was at like a cafe and she's sitting there and she's doing the song and people are, rocking out to it. And I thought, man, that is so awesome that she's got that going on still. You got that? Hey, you know what? All of us would love to have one hit, right? Just one. Just all we're asking for is one. All right, Ken, what you got for us?
It's an old boy by the name of Bob. Don't ask me how I know. Bobby Pinson often considered a one-hit wonder, at least in terms of his solo recording career. This is it. Number 16 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, remains his only top 40 hit as a solo artist. Subsequent singles like Way Down and others failed to chart significantly. However, this one-hit wonder label doesn't reflect his massive success as a songwriter. He's written or co-written multiple #1 hits for artists like Toby, Made in America, She Never Cried in Front of Me, Sugarland, Want To, All I Want to Do, Already Gone, and Trent Tomlinson, Josh Grayson, and others. So while Bobby Pinson might be a one-hit wonder in terms of his
Man, that is a great song. No. That's something you shouldn't do right there. Oh, man, he wrote for Sugarland. He wrote, I mean, you go and look and just like he wrote so many. It's a good thing, man, to get that writing gig. Like that's where it's at, right, Bell? Is that it?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That's where it used to be at.
That's where it used to be.
So, but
now you can win a Grammy and still be a waitress.
Yeah, who are you telling us?
I can't remember the name. It was a friend of Pamela Furr's. She'll probably text me here in a minute because she's listening. But she had, hold on, maybe she just told me.
Yeah. I was so, yeah, because I was like, because we were talking about, like the one-hit wonders and how hard it must be if you.
She had a friend come in that she knew who's a songwriter, and the woman had actually won a Grammy, and she called herself the Grammy Award-winning waitress because she was still having to wait tables.
Goodness me.
You got nothing.
Yeah. Without the writers, you've got no music. All right. Mine spawned a TV show and a movie. Mine did something that no other woman had ever done in country music. She went from country with her number one, and she jumped over to a number one on the Billboard Hot 100. And the song, well, little Jeannie here. Little Jeannie singing about little Harper Valley PTA because you know what happened? They sent her daughter home. Said her skirt was too short. She went back to that school, and she goes, I don't know what you guys are looking at because you guys are all trying to date me because my short skirt. So what do you think of those apples? Song was massive. So she was singing demos, and a record producer said, I love her voice. I got a song for her. And the person that they already recorded, we don't like it. So they got her to sing it. She did it in 2 takes. And the guy who wrote the song, Tom T. Hall, was just down the street. And they called him. They said, he was at one of the bars on Broadway. You got to get over here. He said he ran all the way from Broadway to 16th over here in Columbia, went in there, listened to it. They said they got goosebumps. She went home at night, called her mom and said, Mom, she's from Texas, Mama, I got a hit. It's going to be a million seller. And her mom's like, no, it's not. She goes, I listened to it overnight, called my mom next day. I said, no, Mom's going to sell 3 million. It sold 8 million copies, which is incredible. She won Grammy for Best Female Vocal Performance and the first country song to win the CMA Single of the Year. And yes, kids, she freaked everybody out in Nashville because she did wear go-go boots and a short skirt, which they weren't used to. Little Jeannie there with a superstar hit. And I think she still lives out here. I saw her the other day, I think at a church doing something. They were talking to her about, what it was like to work with Barbara Eden and the song and because of the movie and then the television show, which was really cool. But yeah, but she didn't have a top 10 hit. This one crossed over onto the number one on the Billboard. Yeah, so that's what because I couldn't find. I was going to go with Heartland. If you guys don't know the Heartland, I loved her first. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to it. Just because I told you. So when I was in country radio for a while, but like I think everybody's worked in country radio at one time or another was like, hey, you're going to be the night guy at the country station while you're also the production director. And you're like, okay. So Heartland had just come on the scene and they played our Country in the Park. So we had like Sarah Evans, Phil Vassar. That was awesome. And we had them. They had no other songs. They came out, they sang that song once. Then they played like a cover or two. Then they sang that song again. Then they played like an original because they didn't even have an album. And then they played that song. So 6 songs, they did that song like 3 times. And it was the wedding song of the year. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
The songwriter I was thinking of, from reading this, she didn't actually win a Grammy. She's been nominated 3 times.
Oh.
But her name is Jamie Floyd.
There's just no money in it anymore, huh? Why is there no money in songwriting? I thought the whole thing was to own everything and owning the copyrights and all that stuff.
Because it's all around streaming now, and and streaming pays so little that you have to get like Taylor gets the giant lion's share of streaming revenue because she gets billions of streams.
Yeah,
you get 30,000 streams on something, and here's your $6 check. Have a nice Starbucks.
No wonder. Yeah,
I think it's less than that.
No wonder Lee Greenweed needs to do the halftime show. He only has 73,000 Spotify listeners or whatever it is a month. God, that's just like less than a cent. What would it be? So, okay, because we call Bell the Britannica,
Beltanica.
Beltanica. He's Beltanica. He's the Beltanica of music. So back in the day, because I'm always fascinated by this, when it was just radio, how did that work? Like, what were they getting then?
Oh, it was significantly more because streaming. When you look at streaming, 9 times out of 10, there's 1 or 2 people that are hearing that stream, unless you have the exception to a rule where you're at a party and you've got 100 people that are listening to the stereo system. But when radio was like really breaking hits, you had tens upon thousands of people a week hearing the song, so the pay for it, the money that the stations had to pay for their licenses was much greater.
Yeah, see, now
I don't know if it's still the same, but I know at one point, I think it was either ASCAP or BMI, or maybe it was both. They charged you between 1 and 1.5% of your gross revenue to have a license from them.
Wow, that's crazy. Or we could just go walk over here and ask them.
Yeah,
there's I walk by them every day. Because I always thought it's about not only owning, all your stuff, but the writers were the ones who, make the money on top of.
When I was music director at KDF, every 6 months we would get these forms from either ASCAP or BMI, and I had to go through for a week and fill out every song we played. And I had to fill out the songwriters and the publishers, and it made me want to just smash my head into a brick wall.
Yeah. I always remember my buddy. He works in the big movie industry. He works on that TV show. God, now, where the smart chick solves all the crimes. And
Matlock.
No, that's good. That's back, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm trying to think. But he and I were talking when we were younger, and I went onto a set, and Jack Black was there, and he looks at me one day, and he goes, "Dude, just remember, always be the talent." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Yeah, it's harder to make, but show up late, you leave early, you make the most money, and you never have to do paperwork."
No paperwork would be great.
It's a great thing right there. By the way, Larry just said he was I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, Larry, so deal with it. That old Jeannie there gave him nightmares in his dreams. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Yeah.
She looks pretty to me.
Yeah, she does. Is she even up to where else this was big? That song was huge in Australia. That song was huge. Because you know what? Australia and Ireland have a huge country kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it was big. And I don't think her version was big in Europe, but there was a version in Europe that was pretty big.
Yeah. That was so awesome. See, one hit wonder, guys. You don't get this anywhere else. Everybody else can talk about all kinds of crap. You know what we're doing? We're having fun, and we're dealing with real life stuff. Speaking of that, White Woman Wednesday, we do the work, so you don't have to. She's going to lecture
Carly?
us today on all kinds of stuff. Where did she go to school?
Brown,
just in case you guys know that. Our girl, Kylie.
And she hates her parents because she's white.
Absolutely. And because they gave her a good life and educated her, because that's what's not to hate at that point in time. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Diversify, diversify, diversify. Our friends at Birch Gold want to talk to you. How about this? Diversify your savings, right? It's never been more rewarding. The opportunity right now with Birch this month, celebrating Veterans Day by offering an exclusive opportunity for anyone seeking to invest in gold and honor America's histories and heroes. Are you ready for this? Buy gold and get silver for free. Every $5,000 purchase from Birch Gold Group gets you free patriotic silver round commemorating the Gadsden and American flags. Just to name a few things that Birch does, and it is incredible. They're so amazing at what they do, and gold is important at this time because things are uneasy. The dollar's weak. There's a fear factor that things may go sideways in some ways, and inflation may pick up. So take a deep breath and go, what can I do to protect myself? Gold. Text the word Benson right now to 989898. Get your free info kit, right? So you claim your eligibility for your free silver with qualifying purchase for the end of the month. Take action today. Protect yourself and your family's future. You work so hard for. Diversify with Birch. Text the word Benson to 989898 now for Birch Gold.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
No Kings protests this weekend. President Trump ramping up pressure on Democrats to reopen the federal government, threatening more funding cuts to Democratic programs. And more than 30,000 nurses and other healthcare workers on strike. Sticker shock on new car prices. All this and more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Pam texted in and reminded me I'd known this number, but I forgot it. Each stream gets you 0.003 cents.
Oh, that's...
So Taylor will probably end up with 3 billion streams over the course of this new album through its life. That's $9 million. For 3 billion.
Man, that's good. And you know what else, too, is Bad Bunny. I know everybody's like, oh, Bad Bunny, why are we having a foreigner who's an American do the show? But because he's from Puerto Rico. Yeah, man. He was, up until a couple years ago, he was the biggest streamer. I think up until 2024, then she took over, and they kind of battle back and forth. He's massive. Speaking of massive, we do the work all the time. We come back because we're running late. We're talking. We're having a good time. We got so much fun stuff. White Woman Wednesday in full effect. I might give you a double shot. The government's still closed, and ChatGPT's going porn. Yeah, it is. Talk about that as well. If you missed the show, shame. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. No Kings protests set to return to Nashville and Middle Tennessee on Saturday. More than 30 demonstrations planned across the state. And that includes rallies in Murfreesboro, Clarksville, Knoxville, then downtown Nashville. That one starts at 10. The movement, organized by the Progressive Coalition Indivisible, calling for nonviolent resistance to what it describes as authoritarian policies under President Trump. President Trump upping pressure on Democrats as the government shutdown stretches on. ABC News senior political correspondent Rachel Scott reports from Washington.
As the government shutdown enters day 15, President Trump now says he will reveal a list Friday of, quote, Democrat programs that he will shut down permanently.
We're not closing up Republican programs because we think they work. So we are closing up Democrat programs.
With federal workers going unpaid, President Trump welcoming his close political ally, Argentina's President Javier Milei, to the White House to announce a $20 billion bailout for his country.
More than 30,000 nurses and other essential healthcare workers with Kaiser Permanente are on strike for a second day today. It affects locations on the West Coast, although the company says emergency services won't be affected. Striking workers asking for more than what the company's willing to give, says Kana Whitworth.
It's been working with the unions to provide competitive wages and are prepared to increase those wages 21.5% over the next 4 years. But that's a far cry from the union's demand of 25%, which Kaiser says is out of step with today's economic realities and would force them to raise premiums.
Federal investigators working with their overseas counterparts say they've cracked a cybercrime organization operating out of Cambodia, seizing $15 billion in Bitcoin. Victims, many of them in the United States, fell victim to the crypto investment scam.
This is Jim Ryan. It often starts with a text from an unknown source. How are you? Or who is this? The sender then works to build trust with the recipient, eventually, maybe weeks or months later, inviting the person to invest ever-increasing amounts in cryptocurrency. Some who have fallen for it have lost their life savings. Best advice? Don't answer that first text. Delete it. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Now, the new car that cost $30,000 in 2020 will now set you back an average $37,000. New vehicle prices have never been as high as they are right now. The Kelley Blue Book Car Buying Guide puts the average price of a new vehicle at $50,080. That has all but the wealthiest of buyers looking for alternatives like used cars. Research firm S&P Global says the average vehicle on the road right now is more than 12 years old. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of people texting in. Love the Harper Valley PTA. Several people like, Chad, did this, we've got a ruling here. She had other hits. I said, yes, but it was country.
Not on the top 200.
And not on the Billboard regular Hot 100. This was it for
She
her.
is a one-hit wonder pop artist.
Pop artist, yeah.
She had multiple hits as a country artist.
And she was the first woman, old Jeannie, to cross over and have a number one hit on the charts. I think at that time, Jimmy Dean, Sausage King, Big John, El Paso from Marty Robbins, and some other guy had a hit. But there were the only three, and she was the first woman to do it. So there you go. I see that they're looking at the redistricting cases. The SCOTUS is doing stuff. This is going to be huge. So if you guys don't know, SCOTUS is listening to today. They're going over how they look at the drawing of districts. And because gerrymandering or redistricting, depending on how you're looking at it, if you're losing your area, you're being gerrymandered. If your area is getting stronger, you're redistricting. Kind of the way it is. So what they're looking at is and it looks like they're leaning towards eliminating what they considered to be, race-based kind of drawing. So when you draw the lines. And because, you go look at these things are crazy. I mean, Illinois is awful. It'll be one street here. Like, you'll have a line of like one block, and then it'll skip 3 blocks, and then it's like 2 blocks over here, and then it's just 1 block across the whole city, and that's your district.
Well, if you look at the map for the 7th district, that's the special election was just done for the primaries.
Yeah.
That looks like they're trying to be New Hampshire.
Yeah, exactly.
It's upside down. It's just silly the way they get cut up.
It is so bizarre the way that they draw these things. And it is frustrating because, we've gone over here. If you haven't listened, people are like, where's your solution? We've gone over the solution. And the way that they've broken it down on numerous occasions is essentially you're going to divide up by the amount of people in certain geographical areas. So it could be 200,000, it could be 400,000, some states it could be 700,000. And it's blocks. Think of it like rather than the squiggly lines or the octopus. Illinois got the octopus. Always that. So it is, we've got to do better, but it looks like they're going to get rid of it, and you can tell that by the way that they're asking. Kavanaugh said today, race-based redistricting can't last forever. And this is big because if this is all based on what's happening in Louisiana. And what that means is, so you can draw the lines in such a way now where you can, in theory, diminish a minority vote. But in doing so, you also put yourself in a position to water down your vote in certain areas, which makes it potentially more vulnerable. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Her name is Kylie. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. It's White Girl Wednesday. White Woman Wednesday.
She went to Brown. And don't say girl. You're misogynist.
First of all, misogyny. Secondly, I don't even know if that's what she identifies as. What was that thing you were looking at today? Demisexual?
Yeah, somebody said they were demisexual, so I went right past the article because I don't care.
There's a new one now?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh,
let me tell you about demisexual. No, let me tell you why I don't want to hear about whatever. I think that's one of those ones where you're in love with the person, not a gender, if I'm correct. Or you only like Demi Moore, which would be also hilarious. So let's find out what demisexual means, just in case. I can't believe they have.
I looked at the guy that she was with, and it didn't look like Demi Moore.
Okay, so yeah, demisexual is a sexual orientation. It's not. Where a person only feels sexually attracted to someone after a strong emotional bond has formed. Doesn't matter what sex it is, you have to have a bond with them where you feel closeness before you go, you know what? I could tap that.
Isn't that just called being a woman?
What?
Isn't that just called being a woman?
That's what I thought. Guys never have this. No guys are like, I'm totally demisexual.
I'll tell you I love you, but that doesn't mean it's going to be true.
Look, we're all demi-more-sexual, okay? So let's just settle down, all right? Just settle down. But this lady here, we know who she is. Her name is Kylie. She went to
Brown.
She went to Brown. Don't you ever think for a moment that she didn't go to Brown. And she wants to tell you all kinds of stuff. First and foremost, about being, if you're white and you're, like all three of us here, we're hetero, cis, normative gender. We believe in the assignment that we were given at birth, that our twigs and berries are good to go. But she's got some stuff for maybe the ladies out there who might be on the right side of the aisle.
A lot of MAGA husbands do not love their wives. What? Instead, they see their wives as live-in maids and somebody who could pop out kids for them so that they can continue on their white genes. They don't actually necessarily care about the women that are building their homes that they live with. And the reason I know that is because I have gotten so many DMs from MAGA men that I can't even list them all here. And they have all said that they find feminist women so attractive and that they would love to have a wife that doesn't depend on them, even though they put themselves into that position on purpose by wanting to be a provider type. So here are some of the messages just to prove to you this point, and also to show that a man doesn't have to like you to marry you. You just have to make his life better and more convenient. And the sooner more Republican white women realize this, the better our society will be. Because white women have historically and consistently voted against our own interests. And even if care for human rights isn't enough to move you, the fact that your husband probably doesn't love you and is messaging random leftist girls on the internet asking to see her coochie, hopefully that will be enough. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Why is she being gender stereotypical? Maybe these right-wing men are DMing, transsexuals.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Yeah, so she's being a little biased there.
She is being
biased. I wouldn't
biased.
expect that from somebody that went to Brown.
No. And look, the only reason, if you're MAGA, that you love your wife is because she's going to give you white gene babies. That's it.
And make you a sandwich.
And no, never. Don't ever make a sandwich for a man. I don't care who you think you are. If a man asks you for a sandwich, you do not make it for him.
Better have mayonnaise on it.
BLT extra mayo. Thank you.
Thank you. So awesome. You know what's great? She went out with Chuck Norris, and now she's a trad wife. She did his laundry. That lady, she...
There's a violence joke in there, but I'm not going to make it.
Yeah. My wife would fight her, says 1349. My wife definitely is not a live-in maid. Just look at the dishes. We got several make me a sandwich. Oh, my Lord. Look, I love her. I went on there. Some other people the other day were attacking her on the interwebs, and I went on there, and I go in there, and I said, stop it. You guys stop being idiots. Right? Like, she's our favorite. Stop it. Stop trying to get her canceled.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to change anything.
No.
Yeah, and if she goes away, that's one less regular segment we have on the Chad Benson Show.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go find other crazy. But you know what? We got a new segment starting Monday. Yeah. It's going to be Manic Man Monday, where men melt down, liberal men lose their mind, and some liberal women.
Pamela texted me and said, I'll make a man a sandwich if he makes me $1 million.
See, here's my thing. Okay, like that's the whole part of the deal that you make. If you're going to stay home and be a wife, I'm going to go out and earn a living, and that's kind of the contract, the social contract we signed was that. So, I mean, the house is your office. That sounds horrible. No, that's his. And then the microphone, all this kind. That's my jam. That's this social deal that we made. And yeah, feeding comes with it. It's not hard to please a man. We're not a difficult species. We're not too different from the movie Jaws. If you've seen Jaws, they go, how do they live? They swim, they eat, and they make little babies. That's it. It's kind of their jam. It's kind of like us. I'm not a good swimmer. I'm not a strong swimmer.
I'm not a strong swimmer.
What's really weird about this is there's no actual male synchronized swimming in the Olympics. Yes, this will be
That's
first.
bigotry.
It is bigotry. Oh, my God, some of you guys. Stay in your lane, Chad. No way. Oh, my goodness. White jeans. Is she a fat? No, she is not a fat white lesbian, actually. She's actually a little easy on the eyes.
Well, then she's racist.
She is. She hates white people. But then she says she doesn't hate her white skin. Oh, we got one later where she talks about the extinction of the white man. It's coming. It is coming. That's all I'm saying, guys. It is coming. She is a little bit racist, though. But, you know, I've often wondered, the joke aside, are you really racist? Probably not. But this works for you. Like, this is the lane that you're in. You got a lot of followers. You're becoming a progressive hero. You're a little too out there in the progressive land for 99% of even my friends who are super, you know, who are Democrats. But, you know, you get away with it because you're kind of, you know, you're kind of cute.
Well, but this is definitely one case where personality absolutely obliterates any value the looks have.
Yeah, yeah. Although I will say, I bet, because I'm still working to getting on, I bet you we have a conversation. I bet she's not as crazy as the 1 minute videos. Although I hope she is. I do. I hope she.
You think that's just a brand?
You hope it's legitimate.
I do. I hope she double downs on crazy. I hope she calls me a racist. Speaking of that, we're going to have to talk about.
You're a racist.
Yes, yeah, we're going to have to talk about the was it the GOP, the Young Republicans?
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. If you guys haven't heard the news, they set out some. Was it Discord they were on? I think.
I think it might have been.
Did you hear that, Ken? Did you hear about that?
I saw a blurb about it, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
What's up with it?
It's
a group, I take it, Young Republicans.
It's big, the Young Republicans. I mean, they got chapters all over. And in their private discords, they said things like they called black people monkeys, watermelon people.
Goodness.
They said they loved Adolf Hitler.
What?
And gassing people was a good thing. And they didn't deny it. Politico got a hold of everything. And at first they said, well, maybe it was, you know, some of this stuff wasn't as much as you think it is. But no, we're not going to deny it. They fired 2 people before the article got out. They fired 2 people since. It is awful. And, you know, J.D. Vance came out and he said, oh, the pearl clutching, this Jay Johnson guy who, for the AG, who said he wanted to kill. I said, no. Don't ad hominem where you're like, oh, well, they said something bad too. Guess what? Both are wrong. Saying that you should kill the former Speaker of the House and Virginia's kids so you could get gun control is awful and horrible. And saying this in text or tweet or Discord that you like Adolf Hitler and you call people of color watermelon people?
It's literally proving that the leftist stereotype of right-wingers to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, what were you thinking? First of all, it says Young Republicans. It goes up to 40. Secondly, which is great because maybe then I'm not as old as I think I am. But then, has nobody ever taught you? Yeah, you don't put anything in writing, even in text or jest. Oh, everybody's got that one friend. Let's be real. We all have that one friend or two where if they saw, you know, your tweets back, your text back and forth, you'd be like, oh my God. Let's be real. Like I've been sending my friends the last couple of days, Mr. Rogers hanging out with.
Oh my God. I should not be laughing at that stuff, but it is so fun.
And it is so good. Mr. Rogers hanging out with Tupac, which is hilarious. Mr. Rogers hanging out with Biggie, and Mr. Rogers doing a birthday cake with Pablo Escobar.
And Mr. Rogers having a slap fight with Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal as well. So, you know, and that's because of the AI stuff. It's so brilliant. But you could be, if you look at that and you're like, I didn't create that. But still, you've got to be better. And stop comparing here's the thing. You got to hold your own accountable for crap that they do. And this was stupid. This was absolutely asinine and stupid. And like Bell said, if you want to point right at what they did and say this is exactly what the left thinks, and you kind of proven their point, it's hard to argue when you say you love Adolf Hitler. It's and you're calling people like, you know, comparing them to monkeys or watermelon people or, you know, or all the gay stuff they were saying was horrible. Just So, yeah, you got to hold people accountable. And, yeah, did some of them make mistakes? And was it lost in translation? You could maybe make some of that, but not the amount of text and stuff there was. It was not a good look.
And when you have people of color, whether they're Latino or black or whatever the case may be, and you have members of your community that are homosexuals, when they start hearing that kind of stuff coming from their own community, they start to feel a little alienated and maybe have a little bit of a wonder if they're in the right group of people.
Exactly. 100%. You got to do better. And stop. Like, when I saw J.D. Vance comparing what the AG candidate in Virginia put out there and saying, well, this is much worse. No, it's not. They're both bad. This doesn't have to be a mutual exclusive thing. They can both be awful. And then there's the Trump factor, which is prior to Trump, everybody would be fired and that guy would have dropped out. After Trump, man, we're only going to fire a few and this guy's not going to drop out, which is kind of weird. All right, missing show. Shame on you. Grab the podcast. We got more of our girl and yours, the one, the only, Kylie, coming up. What's this one going to be about? You're going to love this one. I guarantee it. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. All right, guys. Raycon, best earbuds around. It is amazing. It's their anniversary. It's 3 million happy customers with Raycon. Raycon's earbuds are incredible. And they brought back their classics. They made them just out of the world. These were the originals, but now they've added all the bells and whistles to it, which is multi-connectivity, fast charging, active noise cancellation, 8 hours of talk time, 32 hours of battery life, a new ergonomic fit, and tons of awesome colors to choose from. They are incredible. You're going to save big. You're going to get 20% off right now. You're also going to get a 30-day happiness guarantee. So that is, if you get them, you're like, there's not me. I don't like the color, whatever it is. For whatever reason, send them back, give you your money back. No questions asked. But you're going to love them. And you can wear them all day, and you don't even feel like they're in your ears. So incredible. So if you want the best sound quality at a price that won't break the bank, these are the ones. They're called Classic Earbuds from Raycon. Go to buyraycon.com/chat and save now. Buyraycon.com/chat.
No Kings rallies planned for Middle Tennessee. President Trump threatening funding cuts to Democrat programs if they don't agree to reopen the federal government. New car costs hit an all-time high. Coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That new car stuff is crazy.
Average monthly payment is $749.
And that does not count gas, and it doesn't count insurance.
Maintenance either.
So that's like $1,000 a month right there. $1,000 a month. And you're not getting something that is German. No. This is not one of those things where it's like, yeah, I paid $100 a month, but I got a brand new Audi. No, you're paying $2,000 for the Audi. And if you're getting one of those awesome trucks, you're paying $1,500, $2,000. It's insane.
That's why my hot take last week was buying new cars is stupid.
And I think we're at a record high number of car loan delinquencies.
That is not good. Again, it goes back to the economy, stupid. But they're also, here's the other thing. Not only is it $749, it's going out further than ever before with your payments.
Yeah, 6 years, up to 6 years is now, I think, the average.
And I've seen places offering 10 years.
Yeah, I have too.
10 years on a car is fiscal stupidity.
So stupid. It's one of those things, dude.
It's not Hot Take Tuesday, dude. Calm down.
Would you say, so you drops 20% when you drive off the lot and 15% a year just wait 5 years and the car's going to be free. That's the other thing with new cars. New cars are $30,000.
Wait until the new models come out and go back and buy the old ones. The old ones that are going to be discounted, or buy one that somebody else bought. And it's already depreciated that first 20%.
Or go to Craigslist, find some elderly lady who's had one of those cars that she drove it twice in 10 years, buy that thing. And worst case scenarios, you made a dangerous friend. Best case scenarios, you get one of those great finds where you bought, like a Honda Accord that she's had for 12 years that has 2,200 miles on it, and she never drove it because, she didn't need to. Because $750 for a car payment, and you weren't even talking insurance and stuff. That's just insane.
$750 for a car payment, and I know you don't have to get the oil change, something as simple as that, as often as used to be the case. But an oil change now it'll run you over $100.
Oh,
easy.
We were talking about that. Was it like 2 weeks ago? The girl downstairs, Rachel, woman, whatever. Great. She's awesome. And she said it was like $200 and some bucks to get her oil, and all the fluids fixed and all this stuff. And a bunch of people chiming in going, yeah, they say it's $18.99, but it's never the oil you need. And one guy goes, I did it at home and it was still $70.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Well, and they're probably dinging her on the filters too.
Yeah, probably.
They always want you to change the cabin filter, the engine filter, which it's really easy to do on your own. And
you want us to flush your transmission while you're here?
Yeah. And do you want some windshield wiper fluid?
Blinker fluid.
Would you like some turning fluid for your turning?
This engine looks like it needs to be replaced. We could do that real quick for you.
Oh, goodness me. Hey, Chad, I just got a car, 84 months, 520 months. I had no choice. My car broke down. I have nothing. I have to stay working. Yeah.
Should have got it used.
Probably was. 520, 84 months. 84 months.
And you're paying interest.
Yeah. You won't start paying that car off for 6 years.
My car note for the what I'm driving now was 3 years, $125 a month.
That's why I don't mind not having air conditioning, boys.
No.
My Elantra is 12 years old, and I don't care. Just roll the window down and drink a lot of ice water.
To this day, the only regret I have, because I don't care about cars. My wife, she wanted me to have something nicer, but I would, if COVID would have hit just 2 months earlier, I'd still have my sweet Saturn. That was awesome. Stick thing. That thing it would have gone for 500,000 miles and had no payment. Which the sexiest thing about that? No payment. No payment.
That's what I like.
That is,
it's worth the maintenance costs to not have a monthly payment. Just save a little bit every month so the maintenance doesn't hit you hard.
Yeah, it is. And when the expense of life, it's getting worse and worse every day. It seems to be everybody's like, I thought I was going to get cheaper. It's not. And if you're we talked the other day about people holding on to their jobs longer, doing everything they can.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there and you're seeing, hey, I got a 5% raise this year, but on average, quietly, inflation's probably up closer to 8 or 10% on a lot of stuff. You're looking around going, I took a 3 or 4% pay cut.
And you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah, and if you're going to buy a car and you're living paycheck to paycheck and you got to pay that much a month,
good grief, $750 a month, man. I'm not doing that.
No. I watch on one of the TikToks. You ever seen the person walks around and asks all the people at the car lot what kind of car they drive and what their payment is? And you get some of these guys and they're like, I drive a 2025, Chevy Tahoe. My payment's $1,750 a month. Excuse me?
I mean, if you can afford it, great. But I don't know if that's a majority.
It's still stupid.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like going to the grocery store. I mean, I can afford some of this stuff, but I don't like paying that much for it.
No, I don't need caviar every day because it's gross. That's why I have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But if you can afford, just because you can, doesn't mean you should.
Right?
You haven't had peanut butter and caviar?
No.
Yeah,
caviar's gross.
Need to try
it. Is gross. It is so gross. Escargot, also gross. All of those things those people tell you, they're gross. Just putting that out there. Coming up. White Woman Wednesday. We got some good white woman stuff. A bunch of other goodies as well. Somebody chiming in about what the young Republicans did, which was awful. You got some questions about that. A bunch of other stuff, some government shutdown stuff. It is Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Here in Tennessee, no Kings protests coming to Nashville and Middle Tennessee on Saturday. More than 30 rallies planned statewide. The one here in Nashville will be the biggest. It starts at 10 over at the state capitol. Organizers say the movement opposes President Trump, basically. President Trump trying to up the pressure on Democrats as the federal government shutdown enters a 15th day. ABC's Lionel Moise has the latest.
President Trump is threatening to end certain government programs favored by Democrats.
We're going to have a list of them on Friday, closing up some of the most egregious, socialist, semi-communist, probably not full communist.
Democrats responding, slamming the administration for giving Argentina's economy a $20 billion bailout in the middle of the shutdown.
Yeah, that new car that cost $30,000 in 2020 will now set you back $37,000. ABC's Jim Ryan says new vehicle prices have never been as high as they are right now.
The Kelley Blue Book Car Buying Guide puts the average price of a new vehicle at $50,080. That has all but the wealthiest of buyers looking for alternatives like used cars. Research firm S&P Global says the average vehicle on the road right now is more than 12 years old.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Saturday, breezy then, some showers and storms moving during the evening, lingering rain into Sunday. Get the latest on WSW4 on TV and the app as well.
Beacon Capital Management is ready to talk to you. Why? So you don't make stupid mistakes like buying an $800 a month car payment. They want to talk to you about, the future, investing, things of that nature, but also taxes. Taxes are very important, and there's a bunch of stuff in the One Big Beautiful Big Bill, very big, of where you can save, including things like deductions if you're a senior, up to $6,000. Not complete elimination of tax on Social Security, but still a winner, as well as car loan interest up to $10,000 right there you can write off. But again, there's certain things that you have to do to make sure you qualify for that. And then you get to things like health care and long-term care, things of that nature. They can help you with all of those things. That's why Beacon's so amazing. So what I want you to do, call Beacon today, 615-488-9303. They're local. Give them a buzz. Sit down and have a chat with them. They're going to give you a free personalized financial consultation. It's not going to cost you anything, just a phone call. Call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303, or online at beaconcm.com. This is a paid placement. White Girl Wednesday coming up. Check us out across all of our social media on the old YouTube. I was seeing today, YouTube is not just throttling the old world of TV. It is just destroying everything. I mean, regular television is disappearing at a rate that is so incredible. And I was like, wow. And you know what else is coming? I don't know if you've... I got sucked into this. Have you guys ever seen those micro dramas?
What do you mean?
So they're called micro dramas. There's all these little companies that are doing these things, and they're shot in like 1 minute segments, and they may be 30 segments. So it might be a 30-minute thing, and you go from, thing to thing, and they're just called micro dramas. It's kind of like what Quibi wanted to do. Remember Quibi? That they spent all that money to get all those big stars to make, 5-minute movies and 10-minute movies. And then they opened up on like a Monday, and by Tuesday, like, we're bankrupt. And that cost billions. Well, this is the same. Micro dramas are massive. And if you've never seen them, I'm ashamed to say it. It's kind of like another one of those Hallmark kind of things. They're stupid and they're funny, but I watch it on my phone. And I'm like, ooh, I got to find out where this person's going. Wait, this girl's in love with this guy, and she treats him like crap, but he's an astronaut, and he's going back to space after their divorce? What? I got to find out how it ends.
Because he's looking for Santa Claus.
Maybe. But nobody's watching television. But you can check us out on YouTube, because that's where we are, baby. As well as Rumble, X, Facebook, and Twitch. Do you ever go to Twitch? Find out how we're twitching over there?
No.
Okay. We're on Twitch, though, just in case you guys want to know that. Just in case. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages, speaking of somebody who needs her own show, she's white, she's a woman, and it's Wednesday.
The sad thing about a lot of white women is I think they would rather marry a white supremacist than be single. It says a lot because being single is not at all a punishment, especially in white social circles. If you are unmarried by like 25 in a lot of areas, people are going to start asking questions. And although people don't explicitly state that they want you to have a white husband, that nonetheless comes through in their question. Oh, are you dating somebody? What does he look like? What color hair does he have? What color eyes does he have? Does he have good Christian values? And I think that sort of pressure, familially or community-wise, builds up over time so that white women end up becoming MAGA Republicans. It's almost culturally pushed on white women in rural areas. But I would like to say, if you are a white woman, you should absolutely not feel pressured to get married. And in fact, being single is absolutely lovely, and it is significantly better than being with somebody who is racist and controls your every move. Do not let the person that you marry make you into a worse person, a bitter person, a jealous person. Marry somebody who uplifts you, or don't get married at all. You have power as a woman, so use it wisely. And do not marry somebody who doesn't deserve you and who is generally bigoted.
Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that unless you're bigoted. So then that's a perfect match. If you're not bigoted, then no, don't do that. It's like, man, I really loved him, and we got along great, except for the part where he was a Nazi. What is that about? And she's like, I've dated men like this. Who are you dating that's a Nazi? Or that has that kind of, I'm curious. Is anybody, you figure you would learn that. I mean, I don't know when you spring that on somebody. That you're.
Oh, by the way,
I'm a card-carrying member of the Klan.
That's probably a third date kind of thing.
Yeah. But by then I love him, and I think I could change him. I think I could. Men want to rescue women, and women want to change a man. You know how many of those things work? None. But you're right though. When do you bring that into the conversation about how maybe you're a bigot?
Would you like to go to a social meeting with me?
Would you like to? What kind of meeting? We meet at night. There's laundry.
And refreshments.
Got to have refreshments. Just
cookies and Kool-Aid.
Got to have snacks. It's just bizarre. And I've dated men like, wait, what? How? There's no way you dated somebody like that. There's just no way. There's no way. I could not even for the life of me think that you would ever go out once on a date with somebody who you did. Because you already know that if the minute you go out on a date, that person's probably a Nazi because you're already thinking that. You know you are. You're already thinking that. Speaking of thinking, let's not do any stinking thinking. The government super closed right now.
With regard to the timeline of the CR, it would do us no good to pass yet another CR out of the House because it will meet the same fate. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats want to close the government down. They are gleeful about this.
They're gleeful about it. First of all, don't use that word, Mike. It's just a silly word. Secondly, I don't ever for a moment think that Chuck Schumer's gleeful. I don't think he has it in his body to be gleeful. It's shut down because you guys want it shut down. You guys do. You want it shut down because the goal is to force one of you to make a move and once that happens, then you figure you got them. Okay, so they made that move. They were the ones who came to us. Now that they've come to us, we know we've got them, which gives them another L in their corner heading into next year's midterms, which is all that matters.
It's time to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Yeah. It's time to prevent tens of millions of Americans from experiencing dramatically increased health care premiums.
What are they doing to Hakeem Jeffries that he has to be outdoors? Did they really lock the door so nobody could get in? That is healthcare premiums. And you know, when we talk about these things, guys, I want you to understand, you got to come at it in two different, you can't just come at it as a singular issue. Well, I pay this. Everybody should deal with it. You have to think voters because you're trying to continue to hold on to power. The Republicans are holding on to power because the Democrats are useless. It's not like they're doing anything amazing. It's quite the opposite. They have flailed. I'm not talking about Trump. Everybody's going, oh my God, you hate Trump. No, they're tell me the great stuff that this Congress has done. Virtually nothing. If it wasn't for Trump doing executive orders, there'd be nothing going on. So to hold on to power, you've got to be able to do something. And the goal is, it's just easier to make sure that they fail. And right now, both sides are getting the blame for it. So that it hasn't gotten to that tipping point, which is what they need, 50.1%. So when you're thinking about this, it depends if you look at Kaiser Foundation or some of the, CBO projections, 20 to 25 million people are going to see their rates go up 75 to 100+% if the subsidies go away. That's a shock to the system. That is. Although you are spending $1,500 on a car payment, so, maybe it's not that much of a shock. So that goes up there. You're also going to see massive jump in people who have health care at work, the potential to see 18, 20+% jump there. You start adding that together, somebody's going to looking for somebody to blame. And with the amount of money that we waste, like we just gave $20 billion to Argentina and Malay, because why? You're trying to calm everybody down, smooth the currency out, and hope that he gets reelected. Which is why? Why? Do I like these subsidies? No, I don't like government being involved in so many things. But they're involved. And how many times do you see government goes, you know what, we should just let this sunset. We'll be fine. It isn't going to happen.
Well, we got rid of the Patriot. Never mind.
Yeah, the Patriot Act. We got rid of, oh, yeah. No. The same people that are whining that they were spied on are the same people.
They're the ones that keep saying it's okay to spy on us.
Yeah, they're the same ones that keep signing up for that over and over again. Can't believe they spied on us. So when you think about this, you got to think about it in the vote side of stuff, because I guarantee you 20+ million Americans see a 50, 60, 70, 100% jump in their deductibles, their premiums, their spike in all these other things. Everybody's like, well, I pay this. Yeah, I did as well. But you know what? I was blessed to be able to pay it. But next year, people are going to be looking for a scapegoat, and they're going to be looking for somebody to hold responsible for this. And they're going to look over and go, yeah, Republicans, you guys wanted your tax credits. You got it for the wealthy. Hope you're happy. You took away all kinds of crap. And for what? So look at it in a much different way than just, oh, well, I pay this, so everybody else should deal with it. Woo-wee. Goodness me.
I can't wait to see what it looks like when we finally hit the point where we have to have austerity because of the federal debt, and people are going to be freaking out over that.
That'll look like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. That, you know what? We have no idea what that looks like anymore. Think about this. Just to give people an example, the difference between us and the rest of the world. We had a pandemic where we shut most of the economy across the country down off and on for 2 years. Inflation went through the roof because people had more money in their pockets than ever before and couldn't stop buying stuff. That's how incredible. We don't know what austerity looks like. We have no idea.
We don't want to know.
No, we don't. Just keep printing that money. Just keep printing it.
Keep on printing it.
Keep printing. Keep throwing money at it. Keep printing. Just keep doing it. We look over at Europe and we laugh because France is trying to go, okay, guys, you can't retire at 50 with 120% of your salary and you're going to live for the next 60 years. That just isn't going to happen. We're going to raise it to 52. Then nobody works for a week and they're like, fine, we won't. Do you think we're going to do that? We would lose our mind.
Well, at some point, they'll just make it Logan's Run, where once you hit 32, you're checked out.
Yeah. You know what's going to be funny, though, is when we were talking about it the other day, when Social Security kind of runs out of money and they have to cut it by 15 or 20%, people are going to get their checks and be like, you guys were serious about that. Yeah.
Man, more than 10 years ago, whenever, I was living in Idaho and, covering our elected officials, their members of Congress were sounding the alarm back in the early 2000s that our debt is unsustainable and it is the greatest risk to our national security.
Absolutely.
And nothing is being done about it.
No, they kick the can, they print more money. And think about this. If you are in the stock market, since 2008 or 9, you've never known anything other than a massive bull market. We've had no pullback. We've had none of those things. They just keep printing and just keep throwing money at the market. They keep doing all these things. And like you said, how long have we been talking about we're going to go bankrupt? Forever. And nobody's taking it serious. Ooh, crazy. Coming up, more stuff, including a white woman that has some serious issues. And we pointed it out here, and I've been pointing it out for years, and everybody yelled at me like, no, you shouldn't be that way. No, I was right. I was right. Chad Benz Show, Super Talk 997. Bulwark Capital wants to talk to you about your investments, your retirement. Are you sitting good? Here's the beauty about Bulwark, is we were just talking about investing in all these kind of things, and nobody knows anything about the markets. They do things that others just don't because they can. They are active investors. They're always looking for ways to lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility, but they look at places that other people don't, including great value globally in other markets, which is amazing. They're up huge this year, and they want to talk to you. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to write this down, 866-779-RISK, 866-779-RISK, or go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. They're going to give you a free risk review. They'll go through your portfolio, talk to you about where you want to be with your investments and retirements, show you that maybe you're on the path right now and to keep doing what you're doing, or that maybe you can do some other things to get there. You get one retirement, make it work. Go to Know Your Risk Podcast right now to get your Know Your Risk review from our friends at Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25284.
Well, a federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from proceeding with mass layoffs of federal employees during this government shutdown. We'll tell you about that coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Another block. Kick save and a beauty. Block. And it's going to be, I know I appointed them, but that's because I didn't know he was deep state. And because of that, they're doing stuff. So this is this the lawsuit where it's because they're closed, they decided to fire everybody? Is this, I don't even know. There's so many lawsuits.
Yeah, that's what this lawsuit is attempting to block.
Okay.
And this federal judge has temporarily blocked it as of today.
So many lawsuits. Speaking of lawsuits, I told everybody back in the day, don't do it. But all the people were out there in front of the court going, we should free Britney. We should free Britney. No, you should never have freed her because she wasn't captive. She's crazy. That's different.
In excerpts obtained by the New York Times, Federline claims that when their two sons were younger, they did not feel safe at Spears' house, writing, they would awaken sometimes at night to find her standing silently in the doorway, watching them sleep with a knife in her hand. A representative for Spears firing back at Federline, telling People magazine, once again, he and others are profiting off her. And sadly, it comes after child support has ended with Kevin.
I saw her the other day with a butcher knife, dancing around, half naked, in a house that was so disheveled and gross. She's not well. She isn't.
No, she's getting worse.
She's getting way worse. If next week comes, and God willing, I hope it never does, and somebody said, oh, did you hear what happened to Britney? She died. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think anybody would be.
No, absolutely not.
And all those people holding up signs, free Britney, it's wrong, Dad's stealing from her. Well, guess what? Maybe you didn't know. That's what we're saying. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. You ever see the show? Shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Betts Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes, and a federal judge is temporarily blocking the Trump administration from proceeding with mass layoffs of federal employees during the ongoing government shutdown. It's one of the ways that President Trump has used to pressure Democrats to approve the House-passed stopgap funding bill to reopen the government. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune says
Democrats are dug in. 15 days into a government shutdown, Democrats show no sign that they're ready for it to end. Not even the prospect of military families going without a paycheck was enough for Democrats to reopen the government.
President Trump says he'll release a list Friday of what he calls Democrat programs that he will shut down permanently if they don't agree to a short-term funding bill already passed in the House to reopen the government to negotiate on some of the Democrats' wishes, such as health care. Right now in Tennessee putting $7.2 million into child care. The state is expanding its wages program, offering bonuses to child care workers who stay on the job and pursue education. Eligible employees can now earn up to $7,800 a year. More workers qualify thanks to a higher income cap. It's all part of an effort to fight high turnover and improve access to child care across the state. And to try to make human interests a top priority of using artificial intelligence, 10 philanthropic foundations are committing $500 million toward that goal.
The foundations have formed a group, Humanity AI. It can seem to many people that the technology is happening to us rather than with us and for us, says MacArthur Foundation President John Palfrey. Humanitarian groups are testing its ability to translate important documents for refugees. Some farmers find it useful for detecting pests in their fields. Members must make grants in at least one of 5 priority areas identified by the coalition: advancing democracy, strengthening education, protecting artists, enhancing work, or defending personal security.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Trump and Kash Patel are going to have a press conference, talk about crime. Crime's coming down. That's a good thing. I still don't want National Guard in the streets. I don't think we need that. I don't think we do. It's not what we need. But crime is coming down, everybody. Crime is coming down. So we've got that handled. So we'll see what they have to say. Probably something about Valhalla. Oh, gee, that's not very nice. Some of you were mad at me because last hour we were talking about Britney Spears. And you know the thing about somebody like Britney Spears is she was a child star. People watched her grow up. People sexualized her. I had somebody the other day go, "You're being gross." I'm like, she's 43 years old, okay? So let's get over it. She's not, they don't stay the same age, right? Despite what Matthew McConaughey said. But you're watching a human being melt down in real time in front of millions of people. That's a tough, and we've turned it into entertainment, and it's a sad situation. Oh, it's when Dr. Phil had, oh God, what was her name? Olive oil on. I always forget her damn name. Shelley
Duvall.
Yeah. That was so bad. It was so awful to watch. Somebody who was completely not there, but somebody who we all used to love. She's one of the greatest, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
She
got totally consumed by her own mental illness.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably also why she was kind of a good actor. That does help at times. Yeah. It's horrible. So we'll see what they have to say. Pentagon, they want to see what they can do. I think they want to see what they can get away with when it comes to, like everybody's been asking me, why isn't Memphis a bigger story? Like Chicago or, anywhere else. I said, because the governor called. It's a different thing. When Governor Lee calls and says, because it's the governor, hey, I want you to go over here to Memphis. Well, the governor's called, so that took away all of the, controversy. But it's different when, I want you guys to think about this. If Trump wasn't there and Governor Lee, wasn't paying that kind of attention where this, I think we should do it here. And Gavin Newsom or Pritzker decided to send 500 National Guard to Memphis, people lose their minds. And rightly so. Absolutely. Rightly so. So, but it's not a big deal because once the governor calls, it changes everything. They're in on it. They're not having it thrust upon them. They're in on what is going on. They've requested it. So we'll see what they're going to talk about later, the crime. It's one thing I'm always curious about when I look at Democrats and the way that they approach crime. And by that, I mean progressive. Let's be real. Not extremes, because extremes on both sides, they dominate a conversation they should never dominate because they've got a bully pulpit. And we, as the exhausted majority, and that's what I consider us to be, we need to start taking back the conversation, bringing it back to reason, bringing it back to critical thinking, and trying to find fixes for these things. Politicians, if they solve a problem, that's one less thing for them to be reelected with. And if you don't think that's true, go look at, some people are built for certain things. Winston Churchill guided the Brits through World War II. He was living in the world of like 90% approval rating. Then the election came right after World War II, and they kicked him out on his ass because he wasn't the person for that job. So they see that every problem is an opportunity not to solve it, but to keep us divided and fighting each other. And that infuriates me. More than, it drives me so crazy that you can't have conversations with people. And we should want that. We should want to, right or left. Right or left, that's just a bunch of hooey. That's a tribal thing because it's good for the tribe. Most people don't live in an echo chamber, thank God. There are some of you that do on both sides of the aisle. I hear from you every day. I hear from you every day because I will talk about a subject and I'll get 2 separate text messages completely opposite because everybody, what do you call it, Van Gogh hearing? Is that what it is?
Phil would say they were a Van Gogh listener because they were only listening with one ear.
Speaking of somebody who was crazy, who, by the way, was super crazy, not just the ear thing. Go read his story. But
he means Van Gogh, people, not Phil.
Yeah, not Phil. Van Gogh. I mean, I hope you guys understand it. Some of you might not. Well, I heard that. But I want to, I always say, everybody, I want to bridge the gap. That's kind of what we do on the show. We have a lot of fun because we treat the show like it's life. Ken and I and Belle, we BS about all kinds of crap all the time, just like normal people do. We're not 24/7 politics. And that's why we do the show different, but it's always about bridging the gap across the board. I don't want to be lied to by politicians, but they lie to us. And the funny thing is, they can get away with it because people are stupid. They won't even check. We were talking earlier about the PSA from the Hallmark Channel. Well, if Mario Lopez, who just did Christmas and whatever, sends you a text message and says, I need X amount of money, can you wire it or Venmo me? I'm glad you like my shows. And you can't do 2 seconds of research. It's easy to see why they can pull the wool over everybody's eyes by lying to you about everything. They make everything out to be the biggest deal in the world. We've lost the art of nuance. We've lost the art of conversation. And that's sad. It is. Because, man, I love, people always ask, which side of the aisle you're on? I'm on America's side. I'm on our side. I don't care about everybody else's side. I want the truth. I'm on our side. What does it look like? And truth can suck, man. We all know that. We absolutely know that. But like even now, watching them with the government shutdown, they're all blaming each other. It's his fault. It's his fault. It's his fault. No, it's both of your faults. Adults would come, they would do their job, they would get over it. We're at the point now where it matters about likes, clicks, shares. What's your celebrity score? Being a celebrity politician. How much money are you raising? Did you fire off some funny memes? And while all that's going on, they're doing other things that are helping themselves, but not us. And the reason is, and I love this. I'm going to play this thing for you. This is awesome. This is about nuance. There's a little cussing here. I want to make sure I got rid of it. Yeah, okay, cool. This is about nuance. You guys remember, does everybody know what nuance is? Raise your hand. You know what nuance is?
Isn't that like when you put a new lighting thing on the side of the wall?
It's exactly it. Right next to your sconce.
New sconce?
Yeah, new sconce. But this, especially with social media and everything else, is everything you need to know about modern politics.
Nuance is dead because we couldn't monetize it. You can't fit, it's complicated, and I'm still figuring it out, into a viral tweet. Can't build a personal brand around, honestly, I don't know. The algorithm doesn't reward patience or intellectual humility. It rewards certainty, outrage, and picking a side so aggressively that people either worship you or want you dead. We've turned every conversation into warfare. You're either enlightened or ignorant, woke or problematic, with us or against us. No in between. No yes and. Just binary thinking dressed up as moral clarity. The Stoics called it apatheia, freedom from destructive emotions through clear thinking.
Yeah. I mean, we can't. The internet doesn't reward you for having a conversation and going, you know what, I got to check on that. Let me see what that is. Is that real or not real? That's why when you watch these shows and they all yell at each other, those things are as reality TV as it gets. They invite you on those things. They tell you these are the people you're going to be talking with, and they'll tell you in your ears, go hard, because the harder you go, the more your take is out in a certain area, the more people talk about it. Guess what? The more of an opportunity is to come back. Not whether or not you're right or wrong.
We've achieved the opposite. Enslavement by reactive feelings while genuinely believing we're the rational ones. We haven't built communities, just echo chambers. Bunkers to hide in because reality is too contradictory to handle. We outsourced our entire moral development to platforms designed to farm our insecurity for engagement. They don't want us to grow. They want us addicted. And nuance is terrible for addiction. Nuance makes you pause. Question. Sit with discomfort. The algorithm needs you to react now. So we scroll past our capacity for critical thinking, mistake consensus for truth, and call it enlightenment. We'd rather be wrong together than right alone. Reality doesn't do either or. Reality is both and we're so scared of that complexity we've chosen comfortable delusions over uncomfortable truth.
Oh, I love that.
Can I say one thing a little off subject?
Please.
People have got to stop using that AI voice.
Yeah, they do.
I'm so over it. I want that person to be real. So
I've got some new AI voices I'll roll out here tomorrow because we've been playing around with AI. We'll talk about AI coming up in a little bit because, man, Sam Altman yesterday, he hit the nuclear. He hit the we're here first, so we win when it comes to AI. But what he said was absolutely spot on, or whatever it is. Again, don't name your AI because then it's too late. But the nuance, the conversation, being able, they want us divided. And I'll hear from you guys. Oh, the left is the worst thing in the history of the world. They're all evil. No, the extremes.
Trump is the worst president in our lifetime.
Trump's a Nazi. Again, the extremes will say stuff like that. Or like our white woman Wednesday. She says stuff. It's all the extremes because we like to laugh at it and it's fun. But is it based in reality? No, because extremes live in extremes. But does everybody live in extremes? No. 85, 90% of us live little center left, little center right. We like our neighbors. We have friends that are probably on both sides of the aisle and they don't take extremist views. We may disagree in a few things, but we don't have the bully pulpit the way we should. And we need to start taking that back. We should demand that our government do the things they're supposed to do. We're so divided right now because it's good entertainment. It is good entertainment. I mean, I've got friends that go on all those talking head shows, and they'll just tell me, I don't know, I can't do it. Because I've said I don't do it. And I got yelled at by, God, what was her name? I forgot her name. She's
Kylie from Brown.
No, she always yells at me. It was one of those shows, and I can't, because first of all, I can't overreact to stuff, and I laugh at a lot of this stuff. I just roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, God, because it's so stupid. It's an overreaction. It's like, and you got to take the most outlandish, over-the-top thing when you're stating your thing. Well, I'm going to go one further. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, and if you're not going over the top, they don't get the satisfaction of that to broadcast. So they're like, well, this guy's not giving us what we want.
Yeah. And then you don't get invited back. And if your goal is to be invited back, then you've got to you got to dance. You got to do your thing. And they get mad if I got up and danced.
So if they're not going to invite you back a second time, just get up and do it anyway.
Yeah. I forgot. I was on one of those crime shows. Was it Nancy Grace? Who's the one with the Southern accent?
Nancy Grace.
So they invited me on the show to talk about crime and something. And they were going through all these crime things. And one of them was, there was this dad and this little girl, and they were on like an Airbnb, and they died in the swimming pool. They got electrocuted. And they couldn't, the light had come free. And it was, you couldn't see. Obviously, there's nothing in there. But when you got close to it, it ended up killing both of them. And it was horrible. And they're like, everybody's like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And they were just going over the top with everything. And she's like, Chad, what do you think we should do? I said, well, based on everything I hear, I think we should arrest the pool.
Which is, that's obvious sarcasm.
Yeah.
But it shows how ridiculous the extremes are.
Yeah. Two people died here. What do I think should happen? I think it was a tragic accident. I don't think the Airbnb person goes, I got a great idea. I'm going to kill some people. No, and I don't think this will
be number 8 and 9.
Yeah. I mean, see if you guys leave me a bad, Yelp review, whatever it is you leave there. It was just, and I realized I don't want to do this. You got to be nuts. Nobody wants to watch. It's like reality television. If the Real Housewives all went to dinner, talked about their kids, laughed a little bit, had a couple drinks, got up and walked out, gave each other hugs, nobody'd watch. But if they're pulling each other's wigs off and food's flying, we're paying attention. That's the extremes. And everybody buys into it. Drives me crazy. Coming up, White Woman Wednesday. Speaking of extremes, she's fun. Talk a little about that. We got our One Hit Wonder Wednesday as well. This is Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997. Prize Picks is amazing, and I'll tell you why. First of all, easy to play, super simple to set up. And when you do, you already love sports. So what do? You're picking players. You're not picking teams. You're picking more or less based on the potential stats that you think that they may achieve. Meaning, if you think that, say, Saquon Barkley is going to run for more than 70 yards, more or less, that's what you're doing right there. Oh. Or if you think that Josh Allen's going to throw for more than 210 yards. Oh, there you go. It's that simple. It's more or less. And when you use my code Chad, when you download the app, immediately into your account when you play your first $5 lineup, you got to set up a lineup. It's 2 or more. You get $50 in lineup immediately into your account. So you can go on and continue to have some fun and win big. You win up 2,000 times your money, which is incredible. So you set your lineups from 2 to 6. It's that simple. You download the app today, use my code Chad, and start winning. Use that knowledge that you drive everybody crazy with because you know all the sports with Prize Picks. And right now they got a great one too. The 21st of this month, there's a guy named Steph Curry. Do you think he's going to score more than a half a point? I think he will. There's half of your lineup right there. Go to Prize Picks now, download the app, use my code Chad, get $50 instantly in lineups. When you do, that's code Chad when you download the Prize Picks app to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-889-9789. Busy Bee, you just point at me or say something there. Ladies and gentlemen, Bell, everybody. Busy
Bee right here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I pay the medium bucks. Busy Bee wants to haunt you with good tricks and treats. Look what I did there. Check this out. You go get a pumpkin. You want to be in the Beehive Club. Carve a pumpkin with Buzz the Bee. Post it on social media. Tag them in it. Boom. Free Beehive membership. Boom. How about a free dryer vent cleaning? All right, so if you need HVAC service, you upgrade your thermostat, you're going to have free dryer vent cleaning, and you choose from the basic Honeywell or GoPro Wi-Fi control, which is pretty awesome. We have that. It's so awesome. It is. And then you get to things like plumbing. How about this? Any plumbing repair, they're going to flush your water heater for free. And then we're going to get to the super treats with no tricks. HVAC system, you get a new one, they got a great deal for you. 10-year parts. 5-year labor warranty, absolutely free, $750 value. That is awesome. That's when you do a complete system install. Don't be haunted by home hassles. Call Busy Bee today, where your service is sweet and your savings are spooky good. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 775-7833, 775-7833, or online at busybeehvac.com.
A federal judge blocking the Trump administration from laying off thousands of federal workers during the government shutdown. This story and more at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Bell asked me in the break, he goes, hey, did you see the movie Weapons? I said, sure did. Rented it this weekend, watched it. It is not what you expect, and it is creepy. It is not what you expect. And the thing is, you can't even really explain it because any part of it, because it's a giveaway. But it is a creepy, cool movie. If you've not seen Weapons, Josh Brolin's in it.
Love
And-
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, he's great.
Who's the old woman teacher?
She's not old. She's young.
No, there's an old woman in it. Maybe she wasn't the teacher then, but there was a really old woman in it in one of the clips I saw. And
Yeah,
I
okay,
couldn't-
with the crazy hair and stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out who the actor was.
She is. Oh God, what's her name? Is it? She is. First of all, she's crazy. But secondly, is it Amy? It's not Amy Madigan. I
Yep.
forget. Yeah,
Amy Madigan.
Yeah, it's just the movie is so weird and creepy, and the twists are there. It's such a bizarre premise. And then you go, I got to watch that again. I'm not quite sure I got everything.
Now, when you say weird, are you saying it's hard to follow? Or?
No, it's easy to follow, but it's got that sixth sense where you're like, oh, but you're not quite sure. It's just
A lot of detail.
yeah, a little bit, but it's straightforward.
But you kind of need a second viewing to absorb everything.
Yeah, maybe just to take it all in. And the other thing in it too, you know who else is good is was it Aiden Caleb Enrich or whatever his name? They thought he was the next Warren Beatty. That guy's good in it. The whole movie is just I loved it. It was awesome, and I love horror movies. Last night I watched Cabin in the Woods. Have you seen that?
A Knock at the Cabin or Cabin in the Woods?
The Cabin in the Woods.
I actually watched that this weekend, and I plan to watch it again with the sound up.
Yeah, you should. That helps, by the way. That does.
I need to watch that.
So, have you seen it or no?
I have not.
It's just
It always comes. It's always on the screen, but I just never have watched.
Josh Whedon, who does all these great movies, The Avengers and everything, he did this in 2009.
Yeah, it was like one of Chris Hemsworth's earliest movies.
So he did the movie, Hemsworth, and when everybody came to audition for it, they didn't want anybody to know. So everybody read for fake parts, and they're like, okay, Chris Hemsworth was one of the guys. Then they went and shot the movie, and during the dailies, the people that were getting ready to do Red Dawn saw him and said, we're going to cast him as our lead. He hadn't even done Thor or anything yet. Then I think it was MGM went bankrupt. And it was one of the few properties that they were almost finished with. They said, we're going to keep this because we're going to reorganize. And then they held on to it for another 2 years before they released it. The movie is amazing. It's creepy. It's got twists and turns, and it's got Richard Jenkins, who's a great actor.
It was R-rated, right?
Yeah.
See, now my issue with that, though, is it's R-rated, and I didn't see a single boobie.
No, there was no boobie in it.
That's an issue.
Sigourney Weaver's in it. She's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Bradley, was his name, Whitmore from West Wing. He's in it. The movie's just awesome. And it's a trip because it combines all these amazing things, monsters and folklore and all this stuff, modern technology. It's just a trip. I love that movie. It's like, I love Halloween, but that...
I never watched it when it was first out and when it first got on digital because the way they marketed the movie, it made it sound like it was just a slasher flick.
Yeah, and it's anything
and I
but.
was like, yeah, I don't want to see
Yeah,
it.
see, I like the spiritual scary movies.
You will love this because it's got a little bit of spiritual kind of thing on it, as well as
good and evil.
Good and evil. And you find out that some of the people you think are good are very evil.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Easter eggs that refer to other horror movies.
Yes, tons, because that's Josh Whedon's thing.
I love it.
That's Josh Whedon's thing is always about putting something in there that is an Easter egg. And it's the movie's cool. If you guys want to check it out, it's called Cabin in the Woods. I think you guys like it. They're not paying me anything for it. But Josh, if you're in town, let me know. We'd love to talk to you.
I got to watch Long Legs again.
Oh, that was so great. Have you seen Weapons? Did you see Weapons?
I have not seen it. I just texted my wife. I said, look, let's just pay the $10 and watch it this weekend.
Yeah, you will not be disappointed. It is super creepy awesome. Just because, again, you can't even say anything about it. And the funny thing, I was watching this interview today with Richard Jenkins, who did the Cabin in the Woods, and he said, we did the movie. We didn't know what our parts were. Then we did, and then they held it for 3 years, and everybody knew we did it, and we were never allowed to tell anybody what we did.
Oh.
And people said, what is it? We can't tell you.
Why did they sit on it for 3 years? COVID?
No, because of bankruptcy. So MGM went into bankruptcy. They wanted to keep it because it was almost done when they filed for bankruptcy reorg. They had to dip in and give out sell some of their IPs and lease some of them. They said, we're holding on to this.
Gotcha.
So, all right, coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about the One Hit Wonders we've got, plus some of your text messages. If you miss any of the show, shame on you. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
.2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. A federal judge blocking the Trump administration from laying off thousands of federal workers during the government shutdown. This emergency ruling stops planned cuts to over 4,000 jobs across 8 agencies. Judge Susan Ilston of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California called the move reckless, warned of serious human costs. The shutdown now in its third week, no deal in sight. Not enough Democrats in the U.S. Senate willing to cross over to approve that House-passed stopgap measure to fund the federal government. House Speaker Mike Johnson asked if there will be a point when he thinks Republicans will have to put another bill on the floor.
With regard to the timeline of the CR, it would do us no good to pass yet another CR out of the House because it will meet the same fate. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats want to close the government down. They are gleeful about this.
Meanwhile, President Trump amping up the pressure on Democrats, says he's going to release a list Friday of what he calls Democrat programs he will shut down permanently if they don't agree to short-term funding to reopen the government to negotiate health care. And at 50 grand, that is, not only is the average price of a new car at an all-time high, says the Kelley Blue Book car buying guide, but costs of car loans are zooming too, says Chuck Severson.
According to credit agency Experian, last year the average length of a new car loan was 68 months, nearly 6 years. As credit scores worsen, average terms lengthen. The longer the loan, the higher the overall payback price is because you're paying on the original value, which plummets. Carfax says the value of a new vehicle drops by about 20% in the first year, 15% a year each of the 4 years after. Experian says the average monthly car payment is $749.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, guys. Wellness Institute Nashville. You want to get your back? You want to feel better? Yes, of course you do. Go to painisbad.com. Write this number down. 615-246-5009. Why? Because you've struggled. You've done it too long. You've put up with it. You're worried you might have to have surgery. How about this? No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers. Top of the line, the best equipment. Super state of the art. It's like being on a spaceship with the best people, Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley. So whether you've got issues with back, neck, sciatic, slip bulging, spinal disc, herniated disc, you name it, they're going to get you through it. You don't have to live a life full of pain. You can be pain-free. It is absolutely possible. Go check out what they're doing. They got the Big Daddy Trump special going on. $12, comprehensive exam, x-rays if needed. They're going to diagnose you and give you your first treatment just for $12. Call 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or check them out online at painisbad.com. Medicare can be a nightmare. And a lot of people out there, they like their Medicare plan. And the next thing you know, it's like, this is it. I'm going to keep this. And they're like, oh, it's going away. Yeah. Then back you go. And what a nightmare that is. That's why I want you to talk to my friends at Chapter. They're awesome. Now, when you go and you call the people that you've worked with before, they're working for the government or they're working for an insurance company, they're going to give you something that, quite frankly, is going to give them the most commission. Let's not pretend that there's not. Chapter is totally different. They don't work for the government. They don't work for big insurance companies. They work for you. So on average, seniors save $1,100 a year by working with Chapter. My mother-in-law did it. It was so easy to do. She saved big, and there was a little bit of technology that was so easy for her to do. And within 20 minutes, she had all of these plans ready to roll. The service, how much? Free. Doesn't get any better than that. So how do you get it? No gimmicks, no pressure. Honest advice from the experts who know Medicare. You go to your phone, you hit pound 250, pound 250. The keyword you say, Medicare plan. That's it. Medicare is too important. Don't risk it. Work with the partners I trust. That's Chapter. Again, pick up your phone, pound 250, say the keyword Medicare plan, and away you go. Somebody said, is Pulp Fiction a horror movie? I said, some of it is.
Yeah.
Seen in the basement under the pawn shop?
Yeah, that GIMP is a nightmare for everybody. I'll tell you that right now. Tell you that right now. Tell you that right now. Got some of your texts coming in.
Are you okay? No, I'm far from okay.
Yeah, far from okay. This is about
to get medieval.
Yeah. What about us? There is no us. And then he's like, Arby's, we got the meats. And that's what happened to that guy.
Who is Ned? Oh, no, who is Zed? Zed's dead, hon.
Zed's dead, hon. I loved Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, he was great.
That was Harvey Keitel, right?
Yeah, that was he was so awesome. He was so awesome. Some of you are like, Chad, you're so down. I'm not down the middle. Ask me a question about an issue. I'll give you my answer. I don't live in the extremes, and that's not a good place to be. I've always said I was kind of like a Ronin. You know what a Ronin is? That's a samurai that doesn't have a master, wanders around, does his own thing. Because that's where most people really are, but in today's world, everybody's afraid of the tribe. What if the tribe gets mad at me? People are fine being wrong as long as they're all wrong together. Oh, it just drives me crazy. Today, it's a very good day for us. Because it's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, not only talk about white women, and we'll get to that, we also do something special. We talk about music, one-hit wonders. These are songs that we loved. Some of them came and went and really were never heard from again. Those are usually bells. Some of them stuck around forever, and they never had another hit. The beauty of it is we still love them. It's One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
Now it's time for another edition of One Hit Wonder Wednesday. You may not remember the name of the band, but you definitely know the song. This is One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
All right. So last week, you guys should do country. I said, all right, we're going to do some country. We thought it was going to be a little bit easier than it was. And I actually had to call an audible because my one-hit wonder, she had other hits on the country charts, but this was the only one that jumped over the rails and landed on the Billboard charts. But we're going to start with our good friend, Bill.
From 2001, she had other singles out, but none ever broke the country top 40. And this is Jessica Andrews with Who I Am. Spent 4 weeks at number one on the country charts.
That's awesome. Man, having a number one song's got to be pretty fulfilling.
Yeah, you know, even if you are only a one-hit wonder and you had a number one song, nobody can take that away from you.
No, they can't.
That is the one thing they can't take away from you.
You would think. There might be we had, you know what? Sorry. That year in 1992, we actually calculated it wrong, and you were number 2. Nope, too late. I heard Casey Kasem say, and here's our number 1 song. So, but they can't take that.
That would have been Bob Kingsley of the American Country Countdown.
Well, Bob. Is he still alive? Still doing that?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I know Casey's
he retired and passed away.
Did he?
I think.
You guys don't know.
I used to play that on at the radio stations I worked at. I played the American Country Countdown every Sunday, and it came on 4 big discs.
Yes.
4 big vinyl discs.
God, he did that forever, didn't he?
Yep.
Bob. Yep, he died a few years ago at 80. Bob Kidd, that voice.
Never retire.
What?
Never retire.
Never retire. We're not meant to retire. We're not. So that's the one-hit wonder from our good friend, Bell King. Now, over to my man, the weather wizard, the king of it all, Ken Weaver. That is so true. And it's, you know what's weird? He probably walks down the street here and nobody knows who he is. And, you know, he's got his fingers in all of these hit songs and he's writing with all these people. And that's kind of like you're around fame and you're a part of it. You help create it, but not to the point where you can't go outdoors.
And yet he still gets his 0.003 cents per stream.
Yeah, that's what we found out earlier today. That's how much you get per stream. Do they cut their own deals if they get big enough?
Well, yeah, if you get big enough. It's like Bob Seger kept his stuff off of streaming for the longest time. And some of the albums, his earlier albums that he does not like, he won't allow on streaming.
Wow. So you just have to go to YouTube to get those.
There was a point where Taylor pulled all of her stuff off of streaming. I think it was over a royalties issue. I don't specifically remember, but if you have the juice, you can pull your stuff.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you own it. About owning it. Speaking of owning it, she didn't write the song, but she owned it. My one-hit wonder had other hits on the country chart, but this one jumped to the Hot 100, the Billboard Hot 100. It was released August 1968, written by country legend Tom T. Hall. Sold over 6 million copies here, then spawned a television show and a movie with Barbara Eden. Yeah, it was big. Her name is Jeannie. Oh, Jeannie C. Riley. And you know what? She's mad. That's why she got to get dressed up and go to the Harper Valley PTA. So Jeannie went and did this song, and when she just recorded it not too far, like literally a stone's throw away from here. She did it in 2 takes, and she wasn't supposed to be the original singer. They called Tom T. Hall after they did it and said, "You need to get over here." And he was down on Broadway, ran over there to the Columbia studios. Listened, he said he got goosebumps, and knew it was going to be huge. And it was massive.
And if you know his music even just a little bit, you can hear his stamp all over that song. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's got a Tom T. Hall melody line if there is one.
Yeah, and he is, when I mentioned that when we did this the first hour, I mentioned that so many people are like, I didn't know Tom did that, but you can hear it. The thing about this song is she was kind of like this in real life. She had a short skirt. She wore go-go boots. She didn't look like the country western kind of singer that you would think. And that's what made her who she was people like, she sold her sexiness, coolness, and she fought the hypocrisy, kind of like the song did. Number one on both the Billboard as well as the country charts. And the thing that was awesome besides that, won a Grammy for Best Female Country Vocal Performance, became the first country song to win the CMA Single of the Year, and paved the way for the 70s outlaw and crossover eras. Oh, Jeannie. See, right there, a little Harper Valley PTA. That is my one-hit wonder of the day. Man, what a day. We do so many things. There's a lot of you chiming in about the movie. Yes, I do recommend Weapons, if you guys want to know. It's awesome. You guys will love it. You will absolutely love it. Ken, you're going to come in and go, that movie was so crazy awesome. It was.
Well, I dig Josh Brolin. I like him, and I like Julie Gardner.
He was rooting for Thanos to win through the entire Avengers series.
I actually was. I like that big glove he had.
You got to be honest with you. It's just, he wasn't wrong, right?
No. I mean, he was sick of the human race too.
Yeah.
But when you have infinite power,
and you only get rid of half the people.
Well, if you have infinite power, why can't you just double the resources?
I think there was a little revenge in there too, right? Because of his family.
Yeah,
well, and he liked that glove with the
little snappy jewels.
Yeah, little jewels on it.
Yeah,
right. But that glove could have used that glove to double the resources instead of killing half of the galaxy or half of the universe.
Do you remember he did that, and then the next thing he did was he's on with what's his name, Ryan Reynolds, when he's doing his movie, because he also played virtually kind of the same character.
Which movie?
What's the one where he's the ninja guy? I always forget. Ryan Reynolds?
Deadpool?
And
he played Cable.
Cable. So yeah, it's kind of like he's just going to go from one thing to another.
Way to go, brother Josh Brolin.
I love him in Sicario.
I'm upset that they, for whatever reason, Prime canceled that series he was in, Outer Range.
Oh, God, that was an interesting thing, wasn't
I freaking loved that.
Yeah.
They just canceled it. Nope.
Yeah. We're done. Well, you know what? Some of it it's how much was it to make? And the other side of it is in the difference between regular television and these, Prime and all this stuff is, like we're talking about Stranger Things. The kids are like 50 now. We always joke about Millie Bobby. You can't hide it anymore, 14.
She's not little 11 anymore.
No,
she's somebody's mom.
Yeah, she's somebody's mom. And so if you can't get them to do it in a fast time, and they're starting to realize that, like Landman is coming back really fast, which is amazing. If you guys have never seen Landman, that might be the best show on television. Billy Bob is incredible.
I think Brolin adheres to the same philosophy that Jeff Goldblum does. Whereas if they offer you work, you take it.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. And by the way, if you want to see another creepy but awesome show, go watch the Ed Gein show. It's a show. It's eight parts. It is so spot on to the story and to how his real life was, and it is creepy. And wow, talk about a nut. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I think we're going to do our little Matt should be the welcome Matt. We're going to welcome him when he comes in. It is Chad Ben Show, Super Talk 997.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I remember.
We're
I
trying a
remember
little
now.
Pickleball here. Big
Oh, a little-
pickleball.
Or as we call it, P-ball. Little
P-ball. That's right.
I don't know. I don't know
That's
what
it.
I'm
Little
talking
P, little P-ball, baby. So we're talking little Rick.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out. I'm now being told by Abigail the abuser it's time to, explore the arm.
It's mental now.
Right. You got to explore the arm. You got to use the arm. You can do everything you need to do.
Without feeling
Going to be
like
a little
you're-
bit sore probably.
But you also, it's like when people get hurt in sports, like pro athletes, it takes a while to get back because even though their body's fine, mentally it's still that, like, if I fall, I'm going to,
And everyone listening and, particularly those of you watching on the various platforms, you look at me and you think, well, professional athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this guy.
You do.
I mean, right? But no, you're right.
You think
you're
bowler.
right. There's a guy that goes, that course doesn't have carts. Okay, we need to find a different course.
Didn't you play tight end for Georgia?
Because I'm not. Back in the day, baby.
Back in the day.
Back in my day, I could have been a linebacker with the dogs. I could have thrown a ball a quarter mile.
So
what's going on? What am I talking about today? See, you normally ask me that question. Now I have to ask you that question because I've been so discombobulated
this is
and
what I
I'm
think
sick.
you're talking about. You're going to be talking about the thing with the guy, and there was that Kash Patel and Trump. They're doing something
All of those people
with a thing, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
And then they hate it, but they love it.
That's it, and that was awesome. You're going to be doing some of that. You're going to talk probably a little bit of government shutdown, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Government shutdown's kind of boring me.
It is boring.
Measles outbreak?
This is the way that most of us would deal with every government shutdown that's ever been, except that for most of them, I think the Democrats had a better hand to play.
Yeah.
And so the media went with it and they freaked everybody out. But now I don't think the Democrats have a great hand to play.
Neither. Nobody's paying attention. Outside, if it wasn't,
I mean,
for
obviously,
the
if it
military
directly
not getting paid,
right,
nobody would care.
And I still don't think most people care.
No, well, 1 in 3 people last week, according to the latest poll, didn't even know the government was closed.
Well, the wonderful thing that the GOP has going for them is that every question asked about this, all they have to say is if Chuck Schumer wanted to open this up, he could open it up today. And these are at Biden spending levels.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. And it's hard to argue against that. So, nobody's
again,
eventually it'll become a story and eventually it'll get solved.
Well, once it starts to affect the everyday average person because they realize, oh, we're not getting this, or I'm not getting that, or my company that we do, contracting with the government, we're not doing this anymore. Then it becomes the story but enough people, critical mass has to be reached.
I'm a little bit concerned that there's not more recognition about how I have been impacted personally by the government shutdown. I was not able to go up to the top of the St. Louis Arch. I've said this many, many times. I went to St. Louis. I had my tickets, and they were closed. And I was not allowed to go up. You can go up in the tram, and you can go to the top, and you can see the river, and you can see all the stuff. Nope.
Why?
Because the government was shut down.
That's one of those things where they don't. It's like remember when Obama's like, I'm going to just shut down the national parks. You don't have to. Yeah, but I can.
No, Obama, the funny thing about that, and I was there when this happened, the World War II Museum on the National Mall that has nobody manning it.
Yeah.
They had to put people there to tell them not to move the barricades.
They had to hire extra people to stand there to not
I
do
think
something.
that is going against the whole, anyway.
That's American politics.
And we're talking property taxes because a lot of people are pissed about their property taxes going up. Where were you people when they were actually voting on it? I tried to get you I went to the city council meeting.
You should have.
There was nobody there.
By the way, we were going to get into this today. We'll get into it tomorrow. It is a nightmare when you see that some of these people, especially on Broadway, are looking at $500,000 to $1 million. It's that
$12 beer is about to become a $16 beer real quick.
Real quick. And there was no cover, but there is now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Matt, straight ahead. You guys have a good one. We'll do it tomorrow.